Okay, in this presentation we're going to take a look at what it takes to make a bad PowerPoint. You can also make a bad Prezi or a bad video. Some common themes here. I'm going to start off with a little stand-up humor.
That there's some things I hate about PowerPoint, and I figure it's kind of my duty to point them out. So here we go. Here's common PowerPoint mistakes. Number one, people tend to put every word they are going to say on their PowerPoint slides. Although this eliminates the need to memorize your talk, ultimately this makes your slides crowded, wordy, and boring. You will lose your audience's attention before you even reach the bottom of your first slide. Please don't do that anymore, please. Number two, most common. Many people do not run spell check. Big mistake. Nothing makes you look stupider than spelling errors. If it's got a red line under it, recheck the spelling. And then finally, I hate this. Avoid excessive bullet pointing. Only bullet key points. Too many bullet points, and your key messages will not stand out. In fact, the term bullet point comes from people firing guns at annoying presenters. Hence the bullet point. Bad color schemes, not good. Clashing background and font colors can lead to distraction, confusion, headache, nausea, vomiting, and loss of bladder control. I can't stay on that one too long. Here's something I've noticed. The number of PowerPoint slides you have in your talk, the less useful your talk actually is. Unfortunately, my presentation is right there. I've also noticed this. People love to pack data into their presentations. They shove more and more data thinking it's better, but it's not. The more data you have, the harder it is to read your slide, and the effectiveness plummets. Now, you can improve the effectiveness by adding some shading and some 3D effects, and then some second order and third order effects, and then, I know, let's add some labels. That'll help a lot. And that's pretty much every marketing slide I've ever seen right there. Yeah. Then some like VP of marketing standing there going, "It's real clear in Q4." What the hell are you talking about? Now, I'm into in animation. People become animators in PowerPoint. You can have things flying all over the place, and that can be good. If you're a visual learner, that will improve the effectiveness of your performance. But if you're easily distracted, more animations, and people have no idea what you're talking about. They're just, wow, that is cool, wow. And there's regions here, by the way. There's the simple but effective region. There's the active but confusing, the effective but boring, the active but ineffective, the dull but static region, the busy but useless, the ADD-only region, the useful but amusing, the stupid but confusing, the dull triangle, the hyper triangle, the sleepy square, the dizzying pentagon, and everything else I just call pointless motion. That slide right there took me an hour and a half to make, right there. PowerPoint can just suck the life out of you. It's amazing.
Okay, so one of the key things you've got to remember is that you are the presentation, in that the things that you have up on the screen, whether it be through PowerPoint, Prezi, or video, is just an aid. So let's take a look at presenting the same information 3 different ways. So here's information on message retention. I could put it in a chart, which makes it a little easier to see. But this probably is the best. You know, it's a visual. You think about your brain. It doesn't have a lot of words on it, but it makes a lot of sense as soon as you look at it. Again, we could talk about the same thing different ways. So this is the most effective. So you can say, but it doesn't say part-time workers. Well, that's the point. You're not supposed to have every word that you say in your speech on your slide. So you talk about that. 72% of part-time workers in Japan happen to be women. And you can talk about some other stuff that might be up here. But this is what you want people to focus on. Okay, so we need to make sure you're designing a template that's readable. This is not readable. This white background, the letters are kind of choppy. This is probably the best combination of colors here to make it readable. There are different fonts that work better in online and some that work better on paper. Sans serif fonts, which include Calibri, Arial, and Trebuchet, I think, are better fonts than these others. A lot of people use Times New Roman, but they are a lot, they have edges on them and they just tend to break up more. So you want to pick a sans serif font. Here we could put a slide up about rules on font size, and it sort of makes a point right there. Or you could say use fonts 24 point or larger. This is more effective, where you could just have one slide that says 24 point. You want to use high quality photos. These cheap little clip arts are not very professional, and they don't look that great. You could put something in here like this. It says incorporate text into photo. That's a little better, but you could even make it better by just taking the photo, making it the whole background, and putting some text over it. You could put a sentence here that says, when preparing slide, don't use phrases. Or you could just say use phrases rather than full sentences. And if your slides can stand by themselves, why the heck are you up there in front of them? So the point is, why there's no need for you if, in fact, every word you're going to say is on the slide. So you really don't want all the words you're going to say being on your slide. Some rules about bullet points is use them sparingly, and that's because bullet points can kill. Headers are often not necessary, so you're going to look at where they add value and where they don't. And most of the time, they don't add value. So here we can just say eliminate headings, and it makes the point very well. Easier to see and visualize than all these words here is just eliminate all that clutter, all that junk. You got to think about graphs you want to show and what's the best way to show them. Here's a very busy graph, hard to read, presented in a more useful way right here. Okay. And most important thing is that when you're up there presenting, you want to be passionate. And you're not going to get that passion out of a bunch of bullet points or a lot of text on your slide. So it's about you. You're the presenter. Be passionate when you speak. You are the presenter and not the words and the images on the screen. They're just an aid to help you come across as passionate. Okay.